Hello, I'm Ryat Yesbick. I'm an artist from Los Angeles. And behind me is a piece called Spillover that I made in collaboration with Pangalou and Georgina Spyres for Ngallery. And the process for this piece was really started during the first lockdown, during the first quarantine back in March of 2020. And Anna, Georgina, and I were really thinking about breath and the difficulty of breathing in this moment with so much fear around COVID. And so we really thought, how can we play with another element in this question of breath and articulation and the movement of things coming in and out of the body? And so we picked up the element of water, and we started initially with just playing with water, taking trips to various bodies of water. And then we really thought, what happens if we try to speak our emotionality or speak science through water? And so we started placing water in our mouths and seeing where in the mouth we could hold it and still try to articulate what we were saying. And so the piece behind me grew out of that, where we then really wanted to open that process up. So we started asking other people to answer the question, what was the overwhelming feeling they've been experiencing since COVID hit, and if they see their outlook changing. And so people, because we were again isolated and in lockdown, filmed themselves replying to that prompt while trying to speak through water. It's about 23, 25 people from around the globe, all filming themselves in quarantine, trying to say what they've been feeling while articulating that through water. So the piece to me really is a beautiful plethora of people giving their performances to share in this moment around love, heartbreak, pain, joy, sorrow, grief. So I find this to be, personally, I think it's a very touching project because so much energy and collective love and energy went into it. And it's also really about hearing all of these voices around the globe saying how they've been impacted, what they've been feeling, and it coming from such a visceral place. Some of the shot footage in between is of a larynx and also of a colon. So you have a lot of interstitial videos that take you from what someone says to their text, what they wrote. And then sometimes you move through the body, through the larynx, and you pop back out into someone else's words. So the whole idea is thinking about what is the feeling of sinking right now? What is the feeling of going in? What is the feeling of going out? What does the body naturally do? How does the body naturally breathe, naturally swallow? How do oceans naturally ebb and flow, rains, etc.? So all of this is kind of in the mix of this work. We really responded to Nicoletta's sort of call for cross-dialogue and cross-disciplinary dialogue for this moment right now. How do we bridge the gap of isolation when we're forced into separation, and how do we begin to expand our own experiences of the present, and how do we begin to learn from each other and what we're seeing in different sectors of society? So it's been a real pleasure to do this work with them all.
My name is Pangalou. I'm a classically trained singer that specializes in contemporary music and in experimental music. I like to explore new paths, to widen up the perception of people that come across with my art and my performances. I truly believe in the power of collaboration, which enriches me and makes me a more inspired spirit, I would say. In this collaboration, we are under the umbrella of The New Together by Nicoleta Hadzopoulou and Ngallery. We started discussing in the first months of the pandemic and interacting with each other, knowing each other. What are we passionate about? What are we worried for? 1.5 years later, we are here presenting this show that we are naming Empirical Reality, since we took water as the main element, and it is about water, but it is mainly what can anybody, each and every one of us, understand for the nature of things, for the things, for how you deal with the world, things about yourself, about the float, about time, environment, society issues. They were all there being discussed, being translated into the poetry of art on my behalf. I don't need words. I don't believe in the power of words. I believe in the power of clear intention. In the past years of my professional life, of my praxis, I've been searching this field of nonsense and how nonsense can connect to people and perhaps say more than if you articulate the actual issues. So it's a rather humorous but also serious approach in what we're living.
I'm Georgina Spyres. I'm a natural sciences educator and communicator. My particular part of the exhibition is essentially a 3-part video series of a performance lecture. And the first one is called Empirical Reality, exploring science versus religion. The second part is ecological grief, looking at the connections that we have with water and with our natural environment, and how the changes that we'll be experiencing could affect this and bring out various emotions and how we deal with that. And then the third part is called environmental optimism, to look at how we might be able to overcome this grief.
I get tired even thinking about the reasoning behind the ways humans have so unequivocally disrupted the balance of our natural, biodiverse world. Instead, I choose to focus on my bare simplicity. I become nothing. How is that? I am encompassed, I am surrounded, engulfed. I am made of exactly the same things that the rest of our planet and beings are made of. I am composed of exactly the same particles. I follow the same basic physical principles. I choose to ignore the barriers and find the connections. Phosphorescent plankton celebrating phosphorescent plankton celebrating